Hey everybody, I'm Sean. Welcome to another episode of Adventuring Spiders. Welcome back everybody. On today's episode, I am going to share with you a little bit of footage from a business trip that I took a while ago to Inuvik in the Northwest Territories. For those of you not familiar, Inuvik is a long ways to the north in the Arctic, right, actually not too very far from the Arctic Ocean. So I did a quick walk around the town. I shared a little bit of some of the sights and a few facts about Inuvik, and I thought I would share it here. So let's just jump right into it with the start of this one as I made my way towards Inuvik. Hey you guys, it's an early morning here in Edmonton. About 5:30 a.m. getting ready for the next leg of the journey, so let's get to it. All right, everybody, so as you can see, I am in Inuvik, Northwest Territories, and I'm a long ways from home. I am currently over 3,500 kilometers from home, which is, I think, close to 2,100 miles. But more than that, I am straight north of Calgary, which means I'm in the Arctic Circle. As a matter of fact, if you were to drive just 1 hour that way, you would be at the Arctic Ocean. That's pretty crazy. More significant than that is maybe something that most of you are not used to. This is the land of the midnight sun. And so I am currently filming this at midnight. That's right, I will prove it. It is 11:54 p.m. So, wondering what it looks like here at midnight? That's it. There's the sun. The sun never goes down at this time of year, and in fact, if I look up my weather app for Inuvik, I'm hoping this will show up, but right in the top left here, where it says sunset, you will see no sunset at this time of year. That's right, 24-hour sunlight. You could be out here 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, that sun's never going down. It is a crazy thing, and if you're not used to it, it's something else. In fact, there are people all over the place here. I'm actually having a tough time filming this because there's so much traffic. There's people out in the field playing soccer right now. And it's not even that strange, to be honest, to see kids out riding their bikes at this time of day. So it's pretty amazing. And that's just one of the cool things about being here at this time of year, is that you've got 24-hour sunlight. I just wanted to give you some of the sights of Inuvik. I'm not going to show you everything, but I'll show you a couple things that are pretty cool for those of you who probably will never get here. All right, everybody, so one of the more famous locations here in Inuvik is the Igloo Church. For those of you that don't know, Inuvik is situated in the Inuvialuit settlement region here in Canada. For those of you who know the north, the people who live here are called the Inuit, formerly in some places known as the Eskimo, but they're officially known as the Inuit, and the area they live in is the Inuvialuit settlement region. And so this church was built to look like an igloo, and it's relatively unique, and I have never seen a church that looks like that. And in fact, they've even got panels on the outside to make it look like it's snow blocks. So I'll give you guys a closer look at that. All right, everybody, so one of the other things you'll notice about a lot of the buildings here in Inuvik is that most of them are built on pilings. And here's some footage at the base of this building, and you'll see that all of the bases are elevated above the ground. The reason for that is because this far up north in the Arctic, a good chunk of the ground is permanently frozen, which is also known as permafrost. And so there's no foundations under the buildings. And in fact, there's an even cooler part of that. Because the ground has permafrost, they can't bury things like power lines and sewer lines, so they have to put them all above ground. So I'll show you some of that as well. And this is what it looks like. This is a utilidor, and basically this is how they connect the houses. And you can see, I'll show you here a close-up of how each of these branches off, and then there's a conduit that goes to each building, and so everything's above ground. All right, so I just wanted to share another cool building here in Inuvik, and that is the community greenhouse that you can see behind me. This is a former hockey rink that they weren't using anymore, and so as you can see, they replaced the roof with plexiglass, and because of the 24-hour sunlight here, they're able to go grow vegetables throughout the summer months. So pretty impressive, reusing an old building, and in this case harnessing the energy of the 24-hour sunlight to grow vegetables. Now another piece here that you might be interested in, you might be wondering, well, isn't it cold here? It's actually pretty warm here in the Arctic in the summer. Temperatures today were around 17 degrees, and tomorrow's forecast is for 21 degrees, which is about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So and it's still early. It will get in the 30 degrees here in the summertime, high 80s, low 90s Fahrenheit. So it is definitely hot here in the summer, and when you combine that with the amount of sunlight they get, perfect conditions for growing. So very cool use of a building. All right, everybody, that's going to close it out for a quick tour of the town. Now I'm going to take you guys out of town. It's now closer to 1 o'clock in the morning. Still got a soccer game going on. Hard to believe, you know? You would think it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. All right, everybody, so this is just one of the areas here in Inuvik where I can get a vantage point on what is probably the most spectacular part of Inuvik, and that is that it sits alongside the Mackenzie Delta. For those of you that don't know, this is where the Mackenzie River ultimately flows, spreads out into a massive delta, and then empties into the Arctic Ocean. It is what you're seeing behind me, and I'll show you a bit more of that in a second. In addition to that, there's the Mackenzie Mountains in the distance, further behind that, although they're not massive mountains by any stretch. And you may not be able to see them, they're quite a ways away on the horizon there. But everything else that you're seeing out in front here is the Mackenzie River Delta. Okay, that's going to do it from here in beautiful Inuvik, Northwest Territories. I hope you liked some of the views around Inuvik for those of you that'll never get to be here. All right, everyone, that is going to do it for this one. If you did like the video, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and until next time, good adventuring.